On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if the Tasty Boys were inspired by the women of the Black Panther, if Ryan enjoyed getting ripped by Ryan Reynolds, and if Matt Singer regrets his decision to eat everything on every movie-based menu. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only show on the internet that reviews every single live-action television show based on a comic book, as well as some of the animated ones, and sometimes the docuseries-ish ones. My name is Cassie, and I will be the host for this episode. I am joined by my friends. First of all, Mike is back in studio. What's up, Mike?
Cassie, there's no reason to be so docu-serious. We have fun here.
Serious.
Damn, I messed that up. I'll take it again. There's no reason to be so docu-serious. We have fun here.
Nailed it. We'll get a clean take on that one. They won't even
just put
know.
the second one in.
Our editor is definitely on it, 100%. We also have Ryan groaning away in the back.
Yeah, if I'm going to have to come in and like redub all of Mike's bullshit words that he says as with my voice, because his voice is stupid and nasally and annoying, I do feel like I should get a raisin pay. And I did not say, no, I don't want I don't want to be paid in raisins.
I think it's what you said.
Oh, fucking
both
crate of Sunmaids headed your way, friendo.
You guys are being jackaninnies, and no one appreciates it. I said raise in pay, not raisin pay.
Raisin pay, absolutely. It's in your contract. It's signed. They're coming your way. Big old crate, buddy, like Mike said.
Do you guys... When was the last time you had a raisin?
It's been too long.
It's been a hot minute. Honestly, Ryan, thank you for asking and opening up the floor to this important question.
I don't mean like in an oatmeal raisin cookie, the far superior to chocolate chip cookie.
Oatmeal raisin cookies fuck, and people sleep on it, and it's not
yes,
okay.
They're amazing. Chocolate chip cookies are for basic mid bitches.
Wow.
Look, I'm a foodie, okay? So I love an oatmeal raisin. I don't care about chocolate chip. I'm not a poor. But just to crack open a fucking sweet-ass box of Sun-Maid and go to town. When was the last time?
30 years.
I don't think ever in my life. I always traded the raisins. I absolutely never.
I love raisins. Golden raisins can go to hell and die, but like I like Raisin Bran. I'm a fan of raisins.
No, not as a part of something.
That's what I'm saying. It's been too long.
Yeah, Raisin Brandon over there.
He's absolutely going to go get some raisins. I don't even know what sun raisins are. We unlocked something very passionate to Mike here.
Sun-made. Do you mean golden raisins?
Oh, golden. Is that the one you
Golden
shoot
raisins
on?
suck, yeah.
They're made of gold, and they break your teeth.
Sounds like a good time to me.
But your grandma keeps being like, have another one. This one's juicy.
Fuck you, Grandma. I do what I want.
Give me that golden raisin. Crack.
You can't talk to your grandma like that, Ryan. We've talked about this.
Yeah, because she's dead now.
Yeah.
I'll still talk to her like that. I'll go to her goddamn grave.
But you got to reach out through Jesus first.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
I call 1-800-JESUS. Do you guys remember eating the entire box of raisins and then turning the box into a whistle?
What?
No, I never had whistle skills.
What is this old-timey trick you have for us?
Did you then get a stick and hoop and run down the dirt road?
For those who couldn't afford a train whistle?
It's not like I was the town caller and I was reading the news to the town, announcing my presence with a raisin box whistle. I'm just saying that if you fold the box in a weird way, then you can turn it into a whistle. You fucking jack. You guys are on full Jack and Any mode right now, and I don't love it.
I'm going to start furiously Googling Jack and Any to make sure it's an okay thing to have been said so many times in such a short period.
We just insulted him for being old, and he said, let me bring up this 1800s term.
Tell us how we're slamming too much malarkey all over the place right now.
It's a foolish or incompetent person.
Okay, phew.
Call us fools then.
Usually reserved for blacks and Jews.
Oh,
There it is.
No.
Yeah, okay. I take it back. I'm sorry.
Ryan, I do need step-by-step process on how to turn the box into a whistle, though, because like I could just picture like flatten it out. I don't know how you turn it into a whistle. You roll it like a joint?
I don't. Yeah, you roll it like a joint and smoke it to your head. I don't remember how to turn it into a whistle.
Well, then
what I
why
want
the
to do
fuck
right
did you
now
bring
is
it
put the
up?
raisin. I want to put the raisins back in the box and throw a box directly at both of your heads. Like
That's the
I'd
best
catch
use for
it.
them, honestly. That
Hey,
would,
I hope the listeners stay tuned even through both of your shenanigans.
how could
Honestly,
they
like
not? This is riveting. I guess they would stay tuned because we have a lot planned coming up later on. We're going to be talking about The Flash. Ryan's getting a fun punishment. We also have, Ryan, you finished your interview with Matt Singer at the end, so that's something to
did.
look forward to. But first, we got a surprise seggy from Ryan, so let's go to that right now. Ryan, it's time. We blocked out an amount of time. I said the producers were like, this is Ryan's time to shine. He's got a surprise segment. It's going to be huge. It's going to be so much fun. So I'm passing the mic over to you, Ryan. It's a big day. All yours. Go, buddy.
First of all, Cassie and Mike, thank you for meeting me here in our gigantic boardroom, which is also a ball pit. I don't know why we have to fill our boardroom with balls.
Because Caitlin. It was in
Last-
Caitlin's
Yeah.
contract.
It was in a writer.
Last week was all about nuts. This week is all about balls. But if you guys could make sure that you're on some sort of Google right now, because I'm going to say a lot of words at you that you probably don't know.
Oh, no. Okay.
We have a very special segment coming up in our future. We're about to be done with Extaz. And so we are working on a bracket to figure out.
Hold on. Googling Xtaz.
Yeah, hold on.
Jesus
Bracket.
Christ.
I need to figure out what bracket is. I've always wondered.
I also just said, oh, Jesus Christ. If you guys could Google that as well, I think it would.
No, I had a lot of parents yell that at me growing up, so I know what that one means.
Yell that at you, like, thinking that was you? Like, you're the second coming?
Like, oh, Jesus Christ, Mike, how could you cover your whole door with boogers? Like, it would always come before something I just did.
Plus, I've talked to Mike's wife. He knows nothing about second coming, if you know what I mean.
Burn.
One and done, baby.
So what we're going to do is, in a couple of weeks, we're going to put together a bracket to see what show replaces Extaz. I did some research. I did some very specific polling. And I asked producer Dave, former host of this show, Taylor, and host of Movie of the Year, Greg, about what should go in the bracket. Now, I told them that whatever they say is going to automatically go in the bracket, but obviously that's not true.
Come on.
I'm going to run it by you guys to see if it has a shot in the bracket. They didn't pick shows necessarily that were based on comic books. Does that matter to you two?
I'm
A
good with
little. It makes me annoyed that as a former host and a producer and a friend of the show that they don't know what we do here.
They were wanting us to expand, Mike. They're trying to get us into the big times this way. Think of it that way.
Oh, comics are nobody's into comic book stuff right now.
None of it's like Law and Order SVU. It's all nerd
Okay.
shit.
Can we submit that?
Do you really want to watch Law and Order SVU?
Man, we
Already
would
seen
go
it all.
for 30 years.
Let's go to producer Dave first, who this is based on a comic book. It's just something that we have completely stayed away from. He suggested Naruto. Do you guys know anything about that?
I know the
I know-
Naruto run. That's it.
I know he has that little headband, and that I think the bad guy's name is Boruto, and that's like if Batman's
That's Mario Wario.
yeah, that is too silly.
There's 220 episodes currently.
Jesus.
One of these things I'm going to bring up has 1,036 episodes.
I can't watch Dragon Ball Z, man.
But what do we feel about this genre in general? Like, could we do it every week? Or what we could do is like designate a special show where we watch a couple just so like Cassie, do you have any history with this kind of TV?
No, Caitlin has history with this kind of TV a little bit. I have zero.
Mike, do you have any connection?
And do we just mean anime? Is that what Naruto counts as?
Not just anime, because there's stuff like Akira and there's stuff like Studio Ghibli. But like this hardcore, we're gonna pump out as much material as possible. Anime.
Yeah. The closest thing I do have is going to visit my brothers in the summers, and they love Dragon Ball Z, and me think it was the most boring shit in the world.
I thought, Mike, you love Dragon Balls. You love
I love
Dragon
Dragon
Balls
Balls.
across faces and chins, and
Famously.
isn't that true? Aren't you
Sorry,
famous for that?
sorry to have interrupted your insult.
Next up is Infinity Train, which I don't think is based on a comic book. This is a Cartoon Network show. Have you guys heard of it?
I went to a Comic-Con premiere panel of that shit. It honestly seems like a fun time. I would be down for that one.
There's a Infinity Trains on this train. Infinity Cars on this train. How many cars on Snowpiercer?
1,000.
Last I checked, 997 cars along.
So this would be...
It's gone up and down a couple times.
This would be infinite... Wait, up and down? Oh, shit,
Yes.
we just got new cars.
Yeah, they did merge.
Yeah,
I
hey,
think they merged the
you're
whole
saying
train.
it, you're laughing, but that fucking happened in season 2.
Oh, man, that show is still looking for a home, and I hope it remains unhoused forever.
Let it go.
All right, let's go to Greg's picks, because I think these are video game based or something. He suggested Arcane.
No
Do we know what
idea.
that
That-
is?
Is the League of Legends TV show that's supposed to be surprisingly good.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And League of Legends is a video game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody on this show should know something about
It's
any of
Warcraft. League of Legends, Warcraft, Arcane.
I think Paramore maybe did a song for Arcane. No.
All right.
Some
That makes me more into it.
this. Cassie, was that you just starting to sing the song?
Yeah.
The Paramore?
Yeah.
No, you League of Legends.
The other one that Greg suggested was The Dragon Prince.
Oh,
Okay.
I've heard that's cool.
I've
Maybe.
not heard of that, but those are words I like.
I know, man.
Is it a dragon?
Is he from Minnesota and wears purple?
The Dragon Prince is a Netflix show. Two human princes forge an unlikely bond with the elf and oh my god, I can't.
Oh, this
No.
is so up my butt.
No.
It's
Oh, the
you got
mystery of
me.
Adavon. Adavos.
Let's go to Taylor's picks. Taylor suggested his favorite anime of all time, which is called Berserk.
Absolutely zero. Give me. I don't even know how to spell berserk.
I'm guessing
To
it's
Google.
Berserk with no E's. Is that how you spell it?
Berserk.
Oh, no. So you say all the E's.
Oh, it's just how it is. Okay. All right.
More anime. And then he said something else that's based on a comic book, sort of. Have you guys heard the legend of, like, before the golden age of Marvel and the silver age of DC, the most famous comic book that was going around, something that's still popular to read to this day, is Uncle Scrooge.
What?
There were Uncle Scrooge comic books where he would go on adventures, and they are supposed to be legendary. Carl Banks was the writer, director, production assistant. I don't know. But in a way, if Uncle Scrooge's adventures on television were to be televised, that would be based on a comic book. Does any of this make sense to you guys?
Woo!
Yeah.
Are we
that's all I'm
talking
thinking
OG DuckTales? Or
Ta-
the new season?
Either way, all the DuckTales, but I do think that sort of counts for us if we were sort of to go that way.
And because I don't think any of them ran forever, we could do the original into Darkwing Duck into the new stuff.
Absolutely, we could. What are you, a duck? Let's watch it.
Well, I'll watch anything duck-based. The Mighty Ducks cartoon, when they made the hockey team Alien Ducks, we're watching that too.
We have to choose which of these. I have Naruto and Infinity Train, Arcane, The Dragon Prince, DuckTales, and Berserk. What do we think should make our bracket?
I will cast a vote for Infinity Train because I had a good time.
How many votes do we get?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's sorry. It's not voting. It's some of these are stupid and I refuse. Some of these are great, and I should say it right now.
I
Gotcha.
think Berserker and DuckTales are where I say. I know nothing about Infinity Train.
I absolutely love DuckTales. I will do double votes for DuckTales. Love that idea.
I also think that, and we'll talk about this again when we do the bracket, but if it's great, like one of the other things that producer Dave said was BTAS, right? And of course that's going to be on the bracket, Batman the
Right.
Animated Series. But it's so good that I don't know if it's going to be fun to watch.
It won't capture
might,
that same zaniness
Right.
that X has.
DuckTales might be bad enough to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm sort of all about the DuckTales right now. But all right. So all of our votes are going in. Plus, we are going to add producer Dave's pick Infinity Train, Taylor's pick DuckTales, and Taylor's pick Berserk into the bracket. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping out.
I'm going to just watch The Dragon Prince by myself now.
We have another special segment back to back. This one's extra special because Ryan is getting punished and he had to watch an absolute banger of a movie. Mike, what movie did he watch?
I had the privilege of choosing Ryan's punishment movie.
Fuck you.
And chose the 2013 supernatural action comedy starring Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Bacon and Mary Louise Parker, a.k.a. R.I.P.D, a.k.a. around these parts,
Woo.
ripped. Ryan had to get ripped. If you don't remember, it's only been 10 years, but this was definitely a memory hold movie. Despite a pretty stellar cast, it's what if the Men in Black fought ghosts, but all ghosts to show that their evil are fat, because this is definitely in an incredibly fat-phobic area. It is bonkers. Ryan, despite the caliber of this cast, some on their way down, some right before their big way up, why do you think the world has collectively forgotten R.I.P.D.?
I so rarely get a chance to say good job world because it's full of humans that are terrible, but this movie is such a fucking, and I hesitate to say this, like how powerful this word is that I'm about to say, so I like to use it sparingly, but this movie is a stinkeroo.
No.
A certified stinkeroo?
Yes, I would like to mail this movie a certificate that says, you, my friend, are a stinkeroo.
I feel like it's got
It's so beyond bad.
no redeeming quality. Not one little chuckle. A huff of air came out of your mouth, at least.
There was a huff of air, obviously, because I was trying to breathe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
While I was choking myself while jerking off because I was watching a movie. But no, I mean, if we want to start here, if we want to start with the good stuff, and Mike, did you attempt this getting ripped?
I was ripped for 2/3 of it.
You got a half bake.
I think that Jeff Bridges, as talented as he is, was often breathing of some fresh air into the scenes that he was in. Am I wrong there?
No, he was the most watchable part of it for sure. Can you believe that Zach Galifianakis was supposed to play that role first, and they lost Zach and got Jeff Bridges? That is a weird. And Proctor, Mary Louise Parker, was originally supposed to be Jodie Foster.
Wow. Well, good. I'm so proud of Jodie Foster and Zach Galifianakis for getting the fuck away from this. And I cannot believe how much more I love the movie Men in Black after watching this, because that's a banger of a movie. It holds up. It's also 95 minutes, just like this one is. But this movie felt like 4 hours of bullshit.
Oh.
It is long. There's too much lore. It doesn't make sense.
There is somehow too much lore and not enough lore.
1997 is when Men in Black came out.
Uh-huh.
And what a more progressive, societally acceptable view of every class, gender, marginalized group, sexuality than R.I.P.D. has.
All right, Cassie, let's run through these. Which is the most offensive? So when you're are on the R.I.P.D., you look to other humans, and why are these ghost cops being seen in the real world? No fucking clue. Just added complications.
Okay.
But you look like other people. Ryan Reynolds' character is an old Chinese man.
Oh, no.
And that's hilarious.
Oh, no.
I'm glad that their jokes stopped at he is Chinese, because they and it's James. Isn't it like legendary actor James Hong? Is that his name? Yeah.
Part of the cast of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow. So we're starting off very strong.
Now, if I think that you're a deado, which is what they call, and fucking, I thought that people who said doggo and kiddo were the most annoying people, but no, people who say deado are the most annoying people. If I think you're a deado, how am I going to get you to admit it? I'm going to bring Indian food.
What?
Because it's so gross and spicy
that
you, as a ghost, are not going to be able to handle it, and your deado-ness is going to come out, and I'm going to be able to pick you out.
Oh, it's a rough
Indian food.
It's getting rough. What year was this?
2013.
All right.
10 little years ago.
Wow.
Did you pick this, Mike, because the 10-year anniversary that we're all about to celebrate?
I was like, well, everybody's going to be wanting to talk about R.I.P.D. You know they are, because R.I.P.D. 2 just came out on Netflix.
Yes. I don't even know where. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds and how does he have a career? And if it wasn't for him, like, using Reddit to get Deadpool, this guy would be in a Deadpool, a pool of his own death from suicide.
It's crazy. He like circled what would become his persona for years. You see slivers of Deadpool attempts, not slivers, attempts at the Deadpool of it all in this. You see the attempts in Blade Trinity. You saw attempts in Waiting. Man, if anybody gets canceled, Waiting is crazy. It is crazy how fucking awful that movie is. Every joke is just like, haha, you're gay. It is nuts that how many chances Hollywood gave this kid.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And here he is so dry and so boring, and he's supposed to be the straight man to Jeff Bridges, 1800s cowboy, who died when coyotes ate him and then skull fucked him.
This is actual plot?
Legit.
This is real plot? You're not fucking
plot.
with me?
Yes.
We are not bidding right now.
It is a character moment of Jeff Bridges opening up saying not only did the coyotes eat his bones, they made love to his skull. And then he says, do you know what that's called? And Ryan Reynolds goes, unfortunately, I do.
Which is, it's just skull fucking, right?
Yeah, that's how I was like, it's a lot of their quote unquote jokes were stuff like that, where like, I will hint at maybe a joke and then move on.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I know that if I watch Jason and the Argonauts from, the way back with Harry Hamlin, like the animation,
from like the 50s or whatever,
the special effects are not going to be like today. I understand that. And yet watching the CGI in this movie is fucking everything. Everything looks like the Scorpion King busted out of a door, put Harry Potter on his shoulders and waved him around. Everyone is so fucking noodly, but they're also fat. So it's just these giant, Mike, what are those called? Fat noodles. Is that what you call your uncle?
Yeah, they're my fat Italian uncles.
Just so, it's so hard to look at.
Tagliatelles?
Yes. Something at Teddy's. And whatever it is, it's something at Teddy's. I cannot believe the amount of money that they thought they were about to put in this, and then in the last second they were like, actually, no. It
Cut
looks
your
like
budget in half.
shit.
If the premise sounds bad, I don't remember back in the day anybody talking about this. How do you think it got a second revival right now? Just like desperate content out there?
IP.
Yeah, you got to feed the streaming machine, and even dog shit forgotten IP is IP, and that's better than making something original, I guess.
I read that it's a prequel, and
good.
so the guy from Burn Notice plays Jeff Bridges, but dies in a different way than getting his skull fucked by coyotes.
Oh, man.
It has 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Jesus.
It's like, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie this bad. It's abominable.
Is this so by far the worst one you've watched as a punishment, or just any movie?
Because I have a special affinity for the DC characters roast, this is probably the worst thing I've ever had to watch for this particular podcast.
I knew it was bad. I didn't realize how bad it was until, I punished myself as I was punishing you. And now I'm terrified because in a couple weeks, it's my turn to be punished. And now I'm like, oh. But you know what? Silver lining, you can't make me watch R.I.P.D.
I can make you watch R.I.P.D. too.
And you'd have to finish the first one to know what you're getting into.
Well,
you gotta
sure.
know the lore.
Otherwise, you'll be confused. Oh, man. Okay, so Mike, what you missed by not finishing the movie is that, of course, Jeff Bridges and Proctor, played by Mary Louise Parker, have been fucking in the past. Finally, he's getting fucked by somebody that isn't a coyote in the eye.
Does she still eye fuck him, though?
Of course she does. And she decides to get back with him at the end. And how does she let him know? She bites his beard as hard as she can.
What?
And
you did text me. You're like, "There's one good moment by Mary Louise Parker."
That's it. Bites his beard and pulls. And I just want to know: is that normal, like, sort of mating ritual? Should we, when we all three of us go to the singles bar every night, like we always do, is that what we should be doing? Is biting on the beards of people?
Start biting. Yes. Let's make that pact. We will do that the next time we are all single at a singles bar together. I also wonder if the script said like make out passionately, and she went nope, and just bit his beard instead.
He is 70, therefore I will do something even grosser and bite his beard as hard as I can.
There was a moment because her character was thankless that she was they talked to heaven or whatever heaven is through pneumatic tubes.
Yep.
And she was reading how they did help out and help solve a case, but will be punished. And she just like does this little dance the whole time she's telling them how she'll die. I'm like, all right, I like your acting choices there, MLP.
Nobody gives a shit about anything that's going on in this. Nobody. Jeff Bridges said, I had a good time. The movie was cut to shit. Like, Hollywood interfered. And I don't understand what could have been in this movie.
What gold on the cutting room floor.
Oh, and the whole thing is based on Ryan Reynolds stealing gold. We haven't talked about Kevin Bacon at all.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy. Kevin Bacon is the villain.
Oh my God.
And in the beginning of the movie, they're like, Ryan Reynolds like, what's that bracelet you're wearing? Oh, that's the St. Christopher bracelet. I just wear that all the time. Let's not talk about it right now because it's the beginning of the movie. Let's maybe just remember that we did have this conversation. Later on, he takes it off. He's a fucking deado.
He's a deado. He's been deadoed for 5 years, and he's like, remember when I got shot and I came back? Ryan Reynolds like, I'm guessing you didn't come back.
His house is a deado because the bracelet protects his soul stank. And his house has his soul stank. And that's how you that's how you see through soul stank is if you give them Indian food. This movie is fucking bananas.
It's genuinely hard to track just while you guys are talking about it. Like, this is insane that this existed.
Well, we're also not good podcasters.
No, you're great podcasters.
I'm going to blame the movie.
Yeah. It absolutely is on the movie. Are you guys still... Mike suffered with you a little bit. Are you guys still going to be friends after this? I'm mainly worried about your friendship after.
I will tell you this shit. I will... if he gets... Next time he deserves a punishment, I will give him something and I will not be watching a single second of it.
Whew. My condolences, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this. Every time Ryan's punished, I watch along with him. And every time I'm punished, he goes, fuck you.
No,
there's me off for 2 straight hours.
There's been a couple times where I've watched along. What was the last time you were punished with?
It's been years. I've been such a good little boy.
He's a perfect angel little podcaster, so he's
You're the best boy in school.
Gold star for Mike. Gold star for you, Ryan, for watching this, and half another
Thank
gold
you.
star for you, Mike, for half watching it. Doing the Lord's work out here. That's ripped, but now we got to go on to our main segment where we talk about MPower. The first episode of MPower focuses on the women of the Black Panther. And when Disney says women, they mean all women, including characters, actresses, crew members, and even the fans. We hear from all about how the representation of powerful black women in the Black Panther inspired them. Taste Buds, I ask you, do you think starting with the raddest representation of women in the MCU was a smart idea, or should they have built up to them?
It's a good question because I enjoyed this, and then I saw the next episode was Allison Brie Larson, and I was like, whatever, dude, I don't care.
What made this smart and when it worked its best is when it was tied to like real history. When Denai Guerrero, who plays Okoye, was starting to talk about how she actually grew up, and then it went to the anime, I was like, this is cool. Fuck all the what does this fake character mean to me? Let's just get a documentary on Denai. Like, every time it felt more real and grounded, I was on board. And the fact that we have to sit through 3 more of these is... And I love women. I support women.
You have to start this off with saying, I love women.
Look, I think women are babes, obviously. But yeah, I agree, Mike. When we got to their... And then Lupita Nyong'o was like, well, when I was a kid, I had a crazy imagination. And so that's what we get animated, is her story of that. But like... No, do what Denai did. I want to hear about how you guys grew up. You know, like these are 4 or 5 wildly different women with different pasts and everything.
Right.
That's what's in. I know all about Nakia. You know, like I got that. I know all about Okoye. Like, tell me about your guys' past.
And then the actress who plays Aya, who's always like Okoye's number 2, who was the first Dora Milaje we met in Civil War. Like, that's the only character I was like, oh, that's interesting, because none of that is in the movie when they're like, oh, here's her backstory that we've invented. But then it just went through that actress's whole career. She was like on Broadway. She was in The Lion King as one of the hyenas. Like, went through. I was like, yes, I'm so much more into this than your fake Marvel bullshit.
If the 3 of us are going to Broadway right now, is that the role that we're playing in The Lion King? Are we the three hyenas?
Hyenas, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't you think that I'm more of like a Simba main star?
No.
At You'll most never be a mighty king.
You could be Simba's dad if you want. You could be trampled real good.
See, I don't think I even have the skills to be one of the hyenas. I might just be a wildebeest who kills Mufasa.
Wildebeest is the fucking best name for any animal. Yeah. Just like, you're like a wild beast. Wildebeest. You just be a wildebeest. So enemies beware.
Apologies, didn't want to cut that off. Do you guys think if this, like, it's the longer one of the series, I believe this one's like 45, the rest are around 30. Like, was it a mistake? Like, should they have just focused on, obviously we love the character moments. Should they have dropped the comics, like, fully? Like, if they drop the comic background, go just there.
Even expanding to the comics more would have been more interesting. It was just clips of showing us and telling us what we've watched in the movies is when I went, okay.
And only the first movie. Like, Wakanda Forever also has some shit, but that wasn't allowed to be in here. I would have loved more comic stuff. Disney and Marvel doesn't really have, like, the balls to talk shit on themselves and look in the past.
They did a little, very light.
So little.
Yeah.
They were all like, ooh, I read those comics. Oof. And I wanted them to cut to panels of that. But, like, it really is like T'Challa being like, get over here, bitch. You know, like, all right, before you get the back of my hand. Like, it's probably some awful stuff in there.
Yeah. I did enjoy it felt like a behind the scenes, or like after when you on the DVD, the extra specials, when you get like behind like them scouting locations and like all the work into the costuming and like the tribes it matched up with and all that stuff. That stuff's rad as hell too.
That's what I wanted more of. Like, she's like, well, I chose these tribes to create the different looks of Wakanda. Tell me why. Give me some history on each one of those tribes. Now, there's your documentary. Like,
yeah, there's a difference between a special feature that's like shot by somebody on the set. They're trying to make their own documentary, and then a 30-minute commercial. Mm-hmm. You know, that like won't ever veer into anything interesting. This was sort of in the middle, but leaned more towards the type of special feature that's like on HBO back in the day. This is a 30-minute thing promoting the movie. You know, like, and it's just. If you can only dig so deep, then our interest can only go so deep.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. If they had, forgot where I was going there.
It reminded me. I like that Disney Plus and Marvel are gonna keep trying to expand into what kind of content they make, right? Even though I think they should make less in general. What was the series we watched last year that? Each episode was about something completely different. One was about the women of Marvel from the comics and like from the 60s on.
And the Squirrel Girl play.
And the Squirrel Girl play, and one was about cosplayers. That was pretty cool, but I think it's because each director had an angle, and so each episode got to have an angle of what it was about. And I just kept trying to be like, again, everybody should be empowered. I believe the message of what they're trying to do, but what is the angle here? How are you doing it?
Wait, are you saying all lives should be empowered? Are you an all lives person?
No. I would never say that. I think most lives should die. What is this episode doing to the message of the show? How is this empowering women? Other than I just don't get it. I don't get what their thesis is.
There's that, and there's also like they're promoting the movies and the characters and the actresses. But they're also promoting themselves by saying, like, isn't this great how we did this? Mm-hmm. Like, look at us realizing that women are equal too. It's just like, well, if you had to go out and say that, does that mean that you didn't believe it beforehand?
Yeah.
The part where that showed the most is when they were like just flashing to behind the scenes. They were like, we had so many women on the crew, and they were just like, film every woman who's ever stepped on this set right now. You see a chick on Crafty like just setting out fruit. They were like, let's go, women. I was like, this part's insane. You didn't need this.
There was a couple of times in this episode, and it's interesting that it's the longest one, felt like that, because there was a point where like maybe I blinked for longer than I thought, but like I thought I was sitting here watching and paying attention. So they were talking about a dad who's an engineer and his daughters, and I went, what the fuck are we doing here? What?
The transitions were hard. That's the part of like you can't know the purpose of it. You can't also, it felt like the storyboard, like nothing connected. It was just they had like 4 different stories to tell, threw them up there, or 4 different things, and like just went there, didn't worry about how it would connect. They wanted to show that like what they did was impactful and how it did, it is like representation matters, but that part felt almost too like, look at how good we did, for sure.
Also, fine. Yeah, like, okay, Marvel, you did great. But I see 4 episodes were released. The Women of Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, and Gamora. Where's Madison? Where is the Madison episode?
That, I would watch a 4-episode series just about Madison.
Absolutely.
Let's really dig in and learn the story of her. Have you seen the backlash online? People are upset that Black Widow is not mentioned anywhere. And they're like, she's the first one.
And no Kamala. I mean, like,
Kamala's
probably more episodes.
Show up in the Captain Marvel one.
Yeah, they showed a quick preview, like a flash. I feel like in the flash they were just like, here's all the women we have. And I do think there was like a quick flash to Scarlet Witch. There was definitely Scarlet Witch, because I was going to be excited for a Scarlet Witch episode, and there is none. But
no, that's episode 3, and I'm going to watch the shit out of that because Elizabeth Olsen, she's just so well spoken. I think she's great.
My guess about why there's no Black Widow is Scarlett Johansson went, no.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spend time doing this.
I mean, that's the thing, like, because these all feel like extended press junket things, like, they could go and film them while they're filming.
Right.
And Scarlett Johansson is not going to film anything.
Yeah. So we're going to watch all 4 of these.
Somebody is.
Hey, solidarity for women.
If you don't watch these, you hate women.
It sucks because, like, Black Panther is where they did it representation the best with women. Like, Miss Marvel is going to be rough because that's the one they were so fucking proud of themselves, like, in the movie itself. So I can only imagine how that episode's going to go. This is the one where it's genuinely the raddest. Like, the Dora Milaje are just so cool, and you just have...
Really
like, it's the most badass characters, and this is where it's just like there's never like, look at these, it's never like hung or shown a light on like, look at women doing it. Like, they're just there, and now Disney had to go this extra step to be like, women, we did it.
There's stuff about like the costume design about the Dora Milaje that's not going to be in the other ones. Like, the costume design is like, well, I looked at the comic book and made the costume,
Yeah, it's going to be, I definitely think, lacking as we go on. This one had parts that were definitely very interesting. I do wish it was done differently, for sure, with more of just from the actresses and how it was made.
And I don't want to like use a cliche or harp on this, but I think that Lupita Nyong'o would like me, like would like to hang out with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that we would just be like an awesome duo, and you guys are probably keeping her away from me because I would bail on you two immediately.
Yes,
because me and Lupita are on motorcycles, like traveling across the country.
The podcast of you and Lupita would fucking take off. Not even because she's a famous actress, just because the palatable chemistry people would want to listen
to. We just can't have that out in the world, Ryan. We love you too much. That is all the time we have to talk about MPower for this week, though. I do have time to talk about a website. Mike, can you tell me about your website plans?
It's crazy because I'm launching it this week, how it lines up. Mine is capital M Powered. This is powered by men. It is going to deep dive every week. I will be releasing videos about why the men of all superhero universes are awesome. And so I don't know why they had to steal my idea and even steal my name. But
is this men.men?
It's capital M Powered.
.men?
.men. /biz, because everything men does is business. So yeah, look for, next week is a video all about why Captain America is the best and no woman can touch him. And then the next week will be why Sam's Captain America is the best and why no women can touch him. The third, we are going to take a break from superheroes. The third week, it is I've never played tennis, but why I do think I could beat Serena Williams on the court. So I think it's going to do, unfortunately, really well out there.
Yeah,
a banger of a website for everyone out there. And just to get it, you are launching during this Women's Month, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Have to.
Why did they get March? M is for men.
It's so important. Well, Mike, for this story, these stories need to be out there, so I gotta send you to my friend cybersprout.net. They offer premium hosting that's specifically built for WordPress. You know about WordPress, Mike?
I've heard of it.
Well, they
Mike doesn't know about WordPress. He knows about bench press.
Yeah.
Fucking swole. Don't worry, cybersprout.net knows all about WordPress, and they'll handle it for you. They also handle security maintenance, backups, and speed optimization. They'll even migrate your website for free. They're going to do all that. They work hand in hand with you, man to man. They're going to be like, we got you, bro. Let's put up this website. It's also easy to manage. They got easy to edit fields and custom templates with drag and drop tools if you want to get in there and make it yourself. If you want to be a man and make a website, cybersprout.net, your friend for the digital world. Coming up next, it's the pull list. We are back for the pull list where we talk about all the other shows we watched this week. Only other show this week is The Flash.
This week on The Flash, Red Death unleashes her plan for total justice with the aid of a as-yet unseen ally. Taste buds, I ask you this. What famous DC character from The Flash's past should be the Red Death's unseen partner? Because we know they're going to just bring every... Have we ever met the Matter-Eating Lad, though?
Oh, it has to be on this. I thought just DC's past.
I love that. I love where your head's at. But the way The Flash has been working, it's... I remember this actor... They're back.
I would say their future unborn children that are full-grown adults and some all the time get brought back.
We do. What about their future stillborn children? Would that be weird?
Dark during this.
Do you know
Stephen Amell? The answer is Stephen Amell, right?
That'd be dope. Even Stephen Amell's like, "Fuck you, Barry. You failed this partnership."
Was he ever on The Flash?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like second episode, right?
On this show.
Sorry. Should have took that question off air. My apologies. Should have asked.
Christ.
Blessed to have me. You guys are welcome. It's Women's Month. Thank you very much.
That's true. I can't complain.
You can't say anything.
Cassie. I love you because you're a woman.
Thank you.
That's
your
lack of talent.
That's all I was asking for. Thank you so much. The Flash is
Cassie, I don't love you, Cassie. I just love you because you're a woman.
I'll take it. Honestly, just like my dad. Thank you so much. I have no complex.
Also, were you trying to get us out of the segment? Because I interrupted you.
Yes.
To insult me?
Yeah, as a man does.
You interrupted her, the host, and then mansplained what just happened. Happy March, everybody.
Let's go, women. The Flash is Wednesdays on the CW. That is it for the pull list. Ryan, let's go to part 2 of your interview.
Oh, God, this is an amazing part because we talk about two things. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Gymkata?
No.
I just think of Ken Block's movies.
What
Ken Block's?
Who's Ken Block?
Ken Block is a race car driver. He died R.I.P. He got ripped, but he did a bunch of drifting videos, and they were all called Gymkhana.
Is he a ghost cop in space?
Like
in the movie Ripped?
But he's pretty good at it, okay?
Did he die in a car?
No. Sadly, I think it was like a heart attack or something.
Ironic.
That's fucking embarrassing.
It should have been.
What an idiot. Gymkata is a movie from the 80s that Matt Singer brings up all of the time. So I asked him about that. And then also, Matt Singer, anytime there's any movie-based menu, like if IHOP is doing Jurassic World Dominion, and they change their menu to have Jurassic World influenced foods, he will go and he will eat every single thing on the menu. This is what he's famous for.
What is his... did you ask him? Sorry, I shouldn't ask you this. What the best and worst things he's ever tried?
No, I did not ask him that. I just asked him if he has ever seen... And like you're about to hear this, listener, so sorry for repeating. I asked him if he's ever seen the pancake episode of Review. But yeah, it's a good finish to a conversation that I loved. Thank you, Matt Singer.
Yeah, if it's anything like part 1, I think it's going to be fucking great.
Let's go to it right now.
With our third element of Matt Singer, we move away from the movies that I watched as a kid, and we move to the movies that my younger brother watched as a kid. My younger brother would watch nonstop Kickboxer, American Anthem. He would watch No Retreat, No Surrender. These are movies that don't mean anything to anybody anymore. Watched a movie called Best of the Best. He's probably seen that movie 1,000 times. And he has seen the movie Gymkata. You, at this point, I had to assume, once I said we're going to talk about Matt Singer, this movie, you knew this movie was going to come up. At this point, are the poster boy. for something that has a literal poster, it has now been replaced with a picture of your face as the official movie poster. Can we just talk about the origins of this? Is this you and Allison Wilmore on Film Spotting SVU, or does Matt Singer's love of Gymkata predate that?
Oh, it definitely predates any of the podcasts. But long before I'd even met Allison, I just saw the movie. I think either the summer after my senior year of high school, or maybe freshman year of college, somewhere around there. I just saw it on a. I have a really good friend, my buddy Chris Moreno, who I grew up with in New Jersey, and he and I and a bunch of friends would sometimes have like bad movie nights where we would just watch bad movies. And on one of them, maybe even the very first one, I think he put that movie on, and I just thought it was the greatest motion picture that had ever been filmed, and I just was astonished by it. And
if you had said to Professor Robert Sklar instead of Arnie, you want your final piece to be on Gymkata, what would he have been okay? And could you have actually written it?
I'm sure he would have been fine with it if I had a take or an area of investigation that I wanted to explore for 25 pages. I don't know that I could necessarily think of one off the top of my head. Perhaps placing it within the world of the 80s action movie, and the 80s action movie that has sort of these bizarre and hilarious sort of political undertones, because there are those in Gymkata where they're trying to win this ridiculous contest in order to place a Star Wars-esque, not Star Wars like George Lucas Star Wars like Ronald Reagan military defense Star Wars, place a Star Wars defense satellite in orbit. For some reason, it can only be launched from this made-up Eastern European country that's the subject of the movie. So maybe I could have finagled something there, and I'm sure if I had convinced him enough, he would have said go for it. He certainly wouldn't have rejected it out of hand because it was about Gymkata, but I would have had to have some really great hook for it, which, I mean, I'm struggling to think of one right now. It's more of just a passion than it is necessarily an intellectual pursuit of mine.
But passion, I mean, we were trying to figure out, like, how. We know that it's the case, but, like, how to exactly tell people who don't think that Arnold is that important, why he's important. For Gymkata, though, it is more than just a bit, yeah? Because it feels like at some point it became an extremely, like, it was a bit. We knew that somebody was going to bring it up and make you talk about it at some point. Does it go deeper than that? Like, is it, to you, more important than Rad or The Last Starfighter?
I mean, I've never even seen Rad. I definitely have seen The Last Starfighter, but yes, I just think it's a hilarious and bizarre movie in a million different ways, and I've seen it so many times. And it's just one of those, like, I'm sure it has been covered on like the How Did This Get Made podcast, but it's such a beautiful, that is the perfect question. It's like, it's how does any movie get made? But how does a movie such as Gymkata get made? Is such such an amazing rabbit hole to go down. It's like, how does it get made? How does it get made from the director of Enter the Dragon? How does it get made based on this ancient paperback book from the 1950s, which I have a copy of, which wasn't easy to track down, by the way? How does Kurt Thomas, this actual Olympic or elite gymnast, wind up in the movie? How do they decide to make it an action movie that involves gymnastics? How do they decide, not only is he going to do gymnastics in his fighting, but they're going to go to this aforementioned Eastern European country, and there's going to be, gymnastics equipment somehow built into the architecture of this country. It's just the levels of what the effery is just so incredible that, like, to me, it's like it really speaks for itself in a way. You really don't need me. It doesn't need me to defend it or explain it. It is self-evident. Just the incredible, mad beauty of this thing.
And the book it's based on was written by James Cotta?
No.
That's
Jim.
not true?
I mean, the book. No, that is not accurate. No, the book doesn't have Jim Cotta in it because it wasn't written about a gymnast. The gymnast was added because Kurt Thomas was going to be in it. It's just like about like a crazy military, or I don't know how you would describe it. The game, the game in the movie is sort of what the book is called. I think it's The Terrible Game is the title of the book.
The whole 80s idea of if this doesn't happen, then this wildly unattached thing also doesn't happen or will happen, is the best. If this guy doesn't win this Jim Cotta tournament, then Star Wars will launch or not launch. And it reminded me of my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie, which is Over the Top, which is if this truck driver does not win a arm wrestling tournament, he doesn't get custody of his child. That's the 80s in a nutshell, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, we have one more. One more element that makes up Matt Singer.
All right.
And this I'm interested in talking to you about, more so because of our rapidly advancing ages. There was a trend throughout 90s and early 2000s maybe, where 80s and 90s for sure, where if a movie was going to come out, some restaurant would create a menu dedicated to foods based on the movie. And this is... Is this the thing you're most famous for? Let's be honest, of the four that we talked about?
I'm not famous for anything, but...
Okay, is this the thing you're most infamous for?
Maybe. This does come up on occasion, I won't lie. This I do hear about sometimes, yes. Maybe. Unfortunately.
I have so many questions. One... Okay, so anyway, let's start at the beginning. When IHOP or Arby's or whatever says we're going to have a Despicable Me-based menu... You will go and taste each one or finish each one?
Well, I definitely taste all of them. I eat as much as humanly possible. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I've eaten every item, every morsel of food on these plates. But I can put away, you'd be surprised how much I can and do eat. How
many people have brought up to you the review episode about pancakes?
A lot. Yes.
Yeah.
That comes up. Yeah.
And look, like you look great. I'm not saying that you're old. It's just, is this at some point a trend or a hobby that you're gonna have to say, I know more. My butt can't take it.
I don't think it's my butt that can't take it. It's my heart. That's I think my doctor would probably say that's the real main concern. I mean, I would think that doing, like eating an enormous amount of garbage food like once every year and a half, I think I'm probably okay. Like, I think the amount of garbage that people consume on a regular basis, not that I have the cleanest diet, but I feel like I try my best to take care of myself. So I've earned my Despicable Me minion pancakes, if that's what it's going to come to. I think it's all right. I think I can keep doing it with, just you got to be. I don't want to, don't overdo it too much. But these things don't come along that often. That's the one thing that makes it okay.
I'm so glad that this is not the 90s because you would be dead. If this was the 90s, you'd be dead. But I just I can't believe how often Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris comes out and they decide Fruity Pebbles. IHOP decides Fruity Pebbles belong in gravy, and you're like, well, if that's what they said, that's what they said.
Yeah, that one didn't happen, but if they did, I would have tried it. I guess. I mean, I recently ate glass onion ice cream that had onion in it. It was
better than glass.
It was better than glass, but it wasn't that much better. It was really gross. So
the drive to. I don't know if you're if you're Uber eating this or if you're driving to the restaurant, but on the drive you're just like shit.
Yeah, I mean, I live in New York, so sometimes it's usually the subway, but yeah, it's not. You're sort of stealing yourself for God. It's more like I hope people actually read this and follow along, so I'm not just killing myself for no reason. Hopefully people are going to. Be engaged and read and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not killing myself in vain. As long as that happens, I'm okay with murdering myself with,
Addams Family purple pancakes or Thing burgers or whatever other nonsense I've eaten.
You're literally killing yourself, and it's going through your veins. It's as in vain as you possibly can.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought. Oh God, I hadn't thought about it that way. But I guess you're right. That's a depressing way to look at it, but not an inaccurate one.
So the 4 elements that we have that make up Matt Singer, that I decided, by the way, as the host of Family Feud.
Yeah, my children are going to really appreciate that they are not part of the 4 elements of my life. Sorry, kids.
I didn't want to bring them up.
You don't rate with Spider-Man and eating IHOP menus. Sorry, dudes.
So we got Spider-Man, Schwarzenegger, Jim Cotta, and IHOP. Is that? Don't you think that sums it up best?
I mean, the last one isn't necessarily IHOP, but I guess theme menus. I guess sure, why not? I'll own it. I don't care.
Matt, you said to search for your name and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then also ScreenCrush.com, right? Can you talk to us about Screen Crush real quick?
I mean, sure, yeah, that's where I've been for the last bunch of years, and that's where I do all my writing, other than the books, obviously. And, yeah, I definitely have several very long, arguably too long pieces about Schwarzenegger there, and they just showed a trailer for his new Netflix show today, so guess what? I'm gonna, if you think I'm gonna let an Arnold Schwarzenegger Netflix series that's clearly inspired by True Lies. It's not technically it's not a sequel or anything, but clearly in that vein, which is from a Schwarzenegger perspective, definitely one of the most interesting movies he ever made. If you think I'm going to let that go by without writing at length about it, you got another thing coming. So there will definitely be some FUBAR related content in a couple of months when that comes out. But yeah, Screen Crush. We also have a great YouTube channel. I do some of the stuff there, but that's mostly Ryan Arias, are sort of the guy who oversees all of that. But yeah, that's Screen Crush. That's where I'm at every day pretty much, and then yeah, doing the books at night and on the weekends and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks. Now I'm kind of hungry. I wonder if I can get some IHOP FUBAR chocolate bars or something.
IHOP does have a menu now based on the podcast that I'm on. So yeah, there's a stack of pancakes that's covered in red hair. So
okay, sounds like fun. That's what I say to everything I'm offered. Great, sounds like fun. So I guess I have to eat hairy pancakes now. Can't wait.
Oh man, I would love to meet a guy named Harry Pancakes. Thanks, Matt.
We are back from that interview, and Ryan, Mike was right, just as delightful. So good.
I mean, not just me, but to a much lesser extent, Matt Singer, yes?
I would say mainly Matt Singer and a little of you,
okay.
If you did want to know the exacts of it.
Oh, sure. No. Give me some percentages, Cassie.
Cool. 90% Matt Singer, 8.5 Ryan.
Less than 100. This is the first time you've ever gotten less than 100. Unbelievable.
It's a talent. But you guys, that is the end of this episode, which means it's just time to plug things. And I got some friends here with me. I've had my fill of you guys. I am going to send you guys out of the studio. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your friendship, but bye, bitches.
It seems rude, but
I do have here, instead of Ryan, I do have the great, the wonderful Nick Cage himself. Nick Cage, I know you're a huge fan of Pop Filter. Can you please tell us about another show on the network?
I'm so sorry, Cassie. I ran back up.
Did you see Nick Cage, bro?
Yeah, no, that's crazy that you got Nicolas Cage, but you don't want like Nicolas Cage's brother, or you want literally, you asked the actual person to be here?
Yeah, I was like a cold shot. I was like, hey, Nick Cage, what's up? You want to come do a 5-minute segment at most to talk about one
5
podcast?
Minutes. I think he'll definitely do 5 minutes about one podcast. All right, Nick, are you ready? He's nodding yes. Okay. Wow. So great to be here. Wow.
Sorry, is this a vocal warm-up you always do, Nick?
Hey, can I, Ryan, can you come back here, please? Ryan? Yeah, I'm so sorry, Nick. What's up? Cassie, if you could not interrupt his vocal warm-up.
Sorry, that's on me. Okay, yeah. Mike's all yours.
3, 2, 1, Nick. Here we go. wow. I love one podcast in particular. It's called Movie of the Year. And I love how it talks about movies of any year and they bracket and iTunes, Apple.
Sorry, was that the vocal warm up or the plug? I don't want to insult the great Nick Cage.
Look, I'm a national treasure. Okay,
100%.
You should
that's
be
good.
He's fucking good. I love this guy. Well, Nick Cage, I mean, you're welcome to stay here. Absolutely. If you want to jump in at any point, you can.
Should I interview your guests?
Yeah, if you want, you can absolutely interview our guests, because I got another one coming up here. Taking the place of Mike. I did get the Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck is going to tell us all about some websites.
Here's the thing, laddie. I'm here to tell you about all the gosh darn websites you little kids love. First, you got the popfilter.co. I don't know why anybody would go there and not just go to their podcatcher, but people seem to be like, oh, every podcast needs a podcast website. Popfilter.co/Amazon is where you can go if you want to become as rich as me, or if you want to help the Popfilterinos become as rich as me. And then patreon.com/popfilter. Your popfilter is where you can, excuse me, no. I need to put on my glasses in the middle. Patreon.com/yourpopfilter is where you can get all kind of extra segments and support them even more directly. You'll love it. I believe there was a question for me from your guest house.
Yeah, that was Nick. What question do you have for Mr. Scrooge here?
I was wondering, how many nephews do you have?
2 that I love, but 3 in total.
Great.
Wait, is Donald my nephew? It gets very confusing.
And where's Donald's sister? Who's the mother of Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
She died a long time ago. We don't like to talk about it.
Duck cancer.
It was duck cancer.
Follow-up question. What's it like to swim in all the coins?
It feels great. Just feeling that gold rub all over your pantsless bottom.
See, it feels like it would feel bad when you dive into the pool. That first contact with all those coins seems painful.
You get used to it, and then it's addicting. And you want nothing but to dive back into that gold mountain. Anytime you're not in the gold mountain, you're thinking, when is the next time I can dive in the gold mountain?
I love when Brendan Gleeson portrayed Uncle Scrooge. This is my favorite moment.
I want to be alone now. And if you do not leave me alone, I will cut off a feather and throw it at your house.
Well,
I love a really strong feather throw where it's like, whoa, did you throw it? Nobody knows.
You guys are becoming the best of friends. It's beautiful to watch. I'll let you guys have your own time. We do also have an email contact at popfilter.co, I believe. We're on social media at your popfilter. On Twitter and Instagram. You should follow us there. They're great follows. Next.
Oh, I have some news. You're also now on YouTube.
What?
At Popfilter Co. No dot. Popfilter Co. All the back catalog of Movie of the Year will be there, and all the new episodes of the Superhero Show. Leave me alone.
We will absolutely leave you alone now. Thank you for coming back to that part plug.
Wait. Leave me alone.
You got it. You got it.
No,
Nick
you leave me alone.
Okay.
I want to be alone more than anyone has ever wanted to be alone.
It almost sounds like a Beatle now.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you ever wanted to know what if Nick Cage played John Lennon?
Well, they are both out from the mic, apparently. Next week, you guys, we got a big episode because we're going to be talking about Gotham Knights. It's finally here. We're doing it.
Oh, crap.
I'm so excited. Caitlin will be excited because we got Superman and Lois back. So be sure to catch that one. We got a good episode. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For Caitlin, I am me. And for me, I am me. Bye, everyone.